Okay, we got the car on 4 jack stands. Let's get back to work. Up until this point, the plan for this car was to simply fix everything the German TÜV inspection found to be wrong and get the car on the road again. But after taking a closer look at the state of the undercarriage, we decided it was best to treat this car to a complete mechanical overhaul. This is the kit I got from Dayco for the auxiliary belt. It has a new idler roller, tensioner pulley, and of course the belt. Let's get it in. First step is to disconnect the battery, which, since you've last seen it, has been changed. Here's the belt we want to change, and as you can tell, the space is very tight, so I'm gonna try to get some of the things out of the way so we can have a bit more space to work with. Yep, it's stuck in there, basically. Let's raise the engine a bit. Oh, a bit more. There we go. This thing, I think. Oh, yeah, that's also. That's toast. The idler pulley and the tensioner are in. We're not gonna put the belt on yet because we have to take off the oil pan, which holds the AC pump for some reason. Oh yeah. New oil filter filled up and lubed. That's it. And tight. Before I clean, I want to show you where I'm dropping the sump. If you look behind the oil filter right there at the seam, that's our leak. The sump is leaking. And we're gonna fix that. Taking out the dipstick. There we go. It's loose. We have to disconnect one more plug back here. Back here is the oil temperature sender unit. There we go. Loosening the bolt from the AC pump. I can tell this is not gonna work. Okay, let's clean it first. Bolting the sump. There are 2 bolts on this side, which the manual of course does not mention. Okay, this side is off. Still on somewhere, I mean. I did not miss a bolt, because the manual says 26, and I removed 28, so...
Well, experience says never rely on the manual too.
Yeah. Oh.
Another bolt.
Not only 2 bolts from this side to that side, there's 1 bolt from that side to this side. So from the gearbox into the thing.
Some manual you have, man.
Thanks. I did mention that the manual was not for the Coupé.
Wasn't?
Nope, it was for the...
That explains a lot.
The sedan, for the normal one. It's off. It's coming out.
There you go.
There we go.
There you go. Congrats. I have cleaned the sump by hand, inside and out, as much as I could. Let's put the new oil drain bolt in. I have cleaned the mating surface, and basically it would be time to put the sump back in, but I can't. There are a lot of things in the way. So the engine mount, the subframe, and the AC pump. This engine does not have an oil sump gasket. It uses RTV from factory. So just maneuvering that thing up will be an impossibility. Since we are going to be changing a lot of suspension components on this car, I'm gonna have to take out the drive shaft anyway, and when it's all off, I can put on the sump. Next, draining the radiator. In this episode, you're gonna see us remove a bunch of stuff from the car, but you may not see everything go back together, because we thought the best course of action would be to remove everything, fix everything outside the car, and then put it back in. Oh, there we go. Okay, taking out... Oh, no. Ah, it doesn't matter. It's not coming off. Am I gonna cut it? I mean, it's long enough. Come on. That's not how I meant it. It's long enough for me to take the radiator out with it on. Okay? So let's do that.
Pull the radiator and then you can take it off.
Exactly.
And that's it.
And I need to keep holding it. Oh! Oh, it's coming off. Here is the mangled radiator. It had a major leak from here. I don't know what this car hit, but it was probably a primate. Or a chicken. Look at that.
The next item on the list are the shifter cables. So let's remove the exhaust.
Oops. There we go. It's off. Give me. Oh, Jesus! What the? That's heavier than me. Oh. Why is it so heavy?
Weight reduction, bro!
Now it's off. Time to remove the record-breaking heat shield. In terms of mass, hit me in the face. Yes. Now it's time to remove the center console. 2 screws removed. Next, remove the ashtray. So I just pulled up the ashtray holder here, and I noticed there's this thing just lying around. It seems to be holding a light, and I was kind of thinking, where was there a light down there? I thought it could belong to the lighter plug, but no, this thing has a light in the ashtray. It fits right in there. So this is how it fits in here. It's melted the plastic. We do have a working lamp here, so let's see if we can get the blue thing here to stay stuck in its place, not fall on the carpet and start a fire. New bulb. I'm not sure what went wrong before, because installing this is difficult and it's not gonna come out easily. Not with vibrations, that's for sure. Now this is ready for installation. The gear knob has not been on since we bought this car. Alright, let's try to get this thing out. That's funny. Still being held in by something. There is a second screw back there which the manual did not mention. I suspect it's because I'm using the manual for the sedan. I could not find any Coupé manuals. Oh look, more cents. This car keeps paying for itself day after day. Okay, now there are 4 bolts and some trash holding this to the floor of the car. Right, that's 4 nuts, and now it's gonna want to fall down. So I'm gonna put a nut in and support it somehow. Just twist. That's one. I got it out. Show it to the people.
People.
Go ahead. Take out the whole thing. That does not fit.
Okay, but you compare the mounting points. Exactly.
It should be the same. The hole is too small. That's what she said. But basically, yeah. Okay. Alright, put it on. You can put the nuts on. I can let go. Okay. Yes! This thing is really tight now. It is time to put the center console back in. It's time to put in the new shift boot. First of all, we need to take out the old adapter. Well, I found the antenna while removing the center console, so that's going on. Yep, good enough. The f***? This is ridiculous. Next, the whole assembly has to come out to change everything that needs changing in here, which is, well, almost everything. Removing the boot lining in order to remove the rear struts. Got the clips from the front out, and now we can take out the carpet. And the carpet's out! By the way. Oh, okay. That was helpful. There's another clip. There we go. But this is also glued. Since I'm in here, German TÜV has said that the color of the rear side repeaters are not okay. So I got new ones, I'm gonna put them in. Well, I can see why. New ones from Hella, they're going in, so... There we go. I was prepared for a bigger fight there. Oh, there we go. Okay.
And that knot is out.
Okay, but that's loose. We had to cut the anti-roll bar to get it out. It's gonna be changed anyway. Next up is the connecting rod here with the eccentric shaft bolt thingy. Go. Done. We have got the handbrake cable and disconnected the plug of the ABS sensor. Next, we are going to remove the trailing arm bracket. Here's the shock. It says one hand, no force at all. This thing is shot. Copy paste on the other side. Yep. That is the assembly out. Wow.
Permission?
Go.
Okay.
Look at this. Absolutely gone. I don't think any comment is needed. That right there is a problem. Gesundheit!
Not you.
I mean, we're just gonna have to drill it and retap it, I think. Alright, so sadly removal of this sway bar did not go without incident. We are missing a piece of the bolt that decided to stay in. So it's time to drill and tap the broken slug. Okay, so I drilled until I started hearing drilling noises echoing through the car. through the chassis. So I stopped there. I think this is as deep as I can go. I'm gonna measure how deep that is. That's about 26.6 millimeters. The bolt in here originally was an M10 threaded bolt, which means I'm gonna have to drill out this hole to the core hole of M10, which is 8.5 millimeters, and then I can tap it and get an M10 times 20 bolt. Alright, this is it. 8.5 millimeter. Please don't f this up, please. 8.5 millimeter hole is drilled. It's time for tapping M10 thread. Okay, sorry for the annoying noise. Somebody's cutting down a tree outside. Cannot fit the tap handle in here, so this is gonna have to do. I'm gonna take it back out. Stainless bolt. Looks good, doesn't it? Smooth. Perfect. So I dismantled the ball joint of the end link so I can put it in a vise and remove the nut. I gave this sway bar a lick of paint. I also painted the brackets. Nothing special, just to prevent further rust. Perfect. Thank you. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. Done. Oops. And this is when our hydraulic press decided to take a toaster bath. So let's do some small repairs while waiting on the replacement part. This is the junction point of the handbrake cables. And now we need to free the rest of the cables. This is part of the old handbrake cable. Here's the other side. This is M6x1 if you're wondering. Next I'm going to do something a bit unconventional, but I think it's necessary. This is the old handbrake cable, and as you can see, there has been much chafing going on, and this part was sitting right inside of this piece right here. And it has been chafing every time the suspension moved up or down. So first of all, I'm going to clean this up, and then I'm going to put some heat shrink over it, just to take the edge off. It should reduce the chafing a bit. Now it's time to take out and change the handbrake cable. We start with taking out the front side spring. Next, pry apart the shoes and remove the adjuster and reset it. Next, move the upper shoe. There we go. And you can remove the lower shoe. Now you can take out the spring. There we go. That is the upper shoe, and that is the lower shoe and the rear spring. Now you can take out the expander and tap out the old handbrake cable. There we go, it's out. This is the driver's side one, and usually it has a thread here. Onto the pile of trash. Here's a new cable. Oops. Here it is, all back together. I just lost a bunch of footage of me taking off white tape off of this. We gotta fix this. What is this? It's better than before, that's for sure. Not the most beautiful looking connection, but it's a solid one. I'm gonna make it a bit prettier with this. That's good. Next, I am sick of looking at this thing, so it's coming off. Yeah, looks better, doesn't it? The lining here, it's not sitting right. Just remove these 3 screws here. So this is loose. And I just noticed someone did a very bad install here. Okay. Pretty clean in here. So, as you can tell, it's a bit deformed here. Now I'm gonna try to heat it up a little bit and form it back to where it should be. I think you'll agree this curve looks much better, so I'm gonna clean it up and reinstall it.
The front mudguards were also cleaned.
It is time for bumper repairs. I'm also gonna upgrade from these sucky little things that never work and always get stuck to stainless steel. Got some epoxy. There's a crack in the bumper here as well. There we go. Okay. A piece of metal here. Okay, I got that fixed in place. Here's the grill I got, which according to the part number should fit. But according to my eyes, doesn't. Okay. Next we have some damage here, and also every time you turn the car on, or the ignition, there is a fan whirring here. This is the climate control fan, measures air temperature inside the car for the automatic function. I used the long bristled brush, which is very soft, to clean the fan. It looks brand new. There's really not even a speck of dust inside anymore. I also took everything else out of the car. I'm gonna clean it up and I'm gonna show you the end result once I'm done. Here it is installed. Looking good.
This is the knob cleaning lawyer. What I have for you today is the radio knob out of my Coupé. So let's remove this soft touch plastic shit.
And we got this clean. Now let's do this one more time so we know it was not a fluke. I'm just kidding. Let's put it in the car. Alright, that does complete the look of the radio. Looks better. Nice. Double check. There's one. And the second. That looks cool, no? Reminds me of those nitrous purges from Underground 2. I'm just gonna let them soak in this windscreen washer fluid and we'll install them. Installed. Nagled the heat shield back in place. This thing is in. Something I hate, it's stickers on cars, especially on paint. This was more satisfying than many of these other points, actually.
Next time, on rétrospect.
We have replacement parts for the press. That's right, we're gonna drop this pug. Quite excited. We had to cut the anti-roll bar.
Anti-brawl bar.
Anti-brawl bar. Okay, I removed the... Gotta be changed anyway.
الله snack bar.
At last.